Okay. Now let's talk about Caitlin Clark, Christy Sides, Indiana Fever. But before we get started, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Gertie Mack Show and taking y'all time to subscribe to the channel, liking and sharing my videos. I really appreciate all of that. Now let's go. So it's time to crank up the second half of the WNBA season like Soulja Boy. They've been on a break for the Olympics and all of that, and people are really missing Indiana Fever basketball. They want to see some exciting passes, behind the back double dribbling, and all that stuff from Caitlin Clark, a little Boston connection. They just want to see some basketball because WNBA basketball has been more exciting than NBA and even just men basketball, period. Well, they're back in practice, working out like a bodybuilder. Now, during this break, every player did their own thing. Some went on vacation and all that kind of stuff. But Caitlin Clark, one thing about Caitlin Clark, she might have went on vacation and stuff like that, but she immediately got right back to basketball ASAP. And Christy Sides, the thing about Christy Sides is this. She's under a lot of pressure. First half of the season, even during this break, people have still been calling for Christy Sides to go to the nearest unemployment office and stand in line like a soldier because they do not want her to be the coach. And then when the WNBA All-Star, Cheryl Miller was the coach of them, and even though Caitlin Clark didn't just have the best performance and wasn't draining threes like a thunderstorm, they still was like, well, Christy Sides need to be gone and Cheryl Miller need to be the coach because Cheryl Miller just let the players enjoy themselves. People feel like that Christy Sides kind of like, smothered the team and really don't just let them kind of like, just get out there and just get a feel for it and let them go. People feel like she really holds the team back. But it seems like, Christy Sides is trying to open up to not just Caitlin Clark, but the other players, the team as a whole, and trying to kind of build this camaraderie and build this bond, so they can kind of get things together between coach and player. But Caitlin Clark, during her break, did some extra workouts, and Christy Sides just discovered this in his interview. Shout out to Scott Agnes. Y'all check out this video.
Able to get some practice in, but some time off in between. It seems everybody's just refreshed right at this point. Have you gotten that out of these practices last week and this week? They'd come back with a little more energy and a little more everything?
Yeah, usually that first practice back, you expect it to be a little, timing off, just a little ugly. And last week, our first practice wasn't that way. This week, our practice wasn't that way. They worked hard last week, gave them several days off. But they're working hard, and this is just, we haven't had this time together, not just on the court, but off the court, where you're able to get a lot of things in basketball-wise and just team chemistry.
Now, I want to point this out on what she just said about they haven't had a lot of time on and off the court. So now, this kind of like the setup that Christy Sides is putting herself in. If they don't come back and perform well this time, you can't be able to say you didn't have a lot of time on and off the court because y'all had this break and y'all have had this time now to really get things together. The first part of the season, yes, it was tough. They was running back-to-back games. I mean, everything was turned over like an apple pie. It was a lot. So I get it. But now this time with you having this break, you have more time with your team to kind of gel things together like a jello. So you won't be able to say that y'all didn't have time if the second half of this season, making a run for the playoffs, don't go well. Let's keep going.
This week, our practice wasn't that way. They worked hard last week, gave them several days off, but they're working hard. And this is just, we haven't had this time together, not just on the court, but off the court, where you're able to get a lot of things in basketball-wise and just team chemistry-wise.
How important is it after starting as fast as you guys did and kind of going to have that little bit of a break to come back refreshed and ready to go with the playoffs on the line?
Yeah, we still talk about the 1-8 start, right? Like that's kind of, that was hard for us, but that is what gave us the opportunity to be where we are today. You know, we didn't finish some games that we wish we would have finished late, but, you know, we went on a run there, and I think just the lessons that we learned early in those games really helped us out. And now with this practice time, able to grow these few weeks with, you know, most of our team. I mean, Christy Wallace isn't with us, but, you know, just able to grow and get better and just have that time on the court together.
Caitlin mentioned that she did some work on her own in this off time. How have you seen her game be elevated even more now that you guys are back with team?
Yeah, I think just the rest. I think just she was able to get her legs under. You know, she's hitting shots. She just, you know, she's been going since her college season started last year. So just for her to get that rest, she didn't tell me she did a lot. So you just like put it out there.
We heard about a home run derby. Whose idea was that? And what can those kind of things in this break you have mean for this team?
Yeah, I think you just have to, you know, you've got a lot of time with no games. So you have to really try to, you know, one of our things is just having fun, continue to have fun and have some joy, because if you don't have that, it can get really long when you don't have a game to prepare for. So we try to spend no more than 10 minutes before practice, you know, doing some sort of a team event. My coaches have all like come with different ones, and, you know, once we get started, they really get into it.
What are some of the other ones you've done?
We've had a scavenger hunt. We've had a communication one where we had teammates blindfolded and you had to walk them through obstacles and get them to finish with a layup. We've done some basketball stuff where we've just had like played 21. We've played knockout, things like that.
What of that last stretch of games will be most important to carry over when you get back to it here next week?
Yeah, we're really focusing, you know, defensively is what we've really got to focus on. I mean, offensively, we're averaging, 87 points. You know, that's really clicking for us. Now, our turnovers are something we have to really stay top of mind, and that's something that we've stayed top of mind these last few practices. But just defense and getting stops, transition defense especially, just, you know, our turnovers are causing some of those transition baskets. So if we can clean that up, that transition will help, you know, take care of that as well.
So when it comes down to it, the pressure is actually not even on the Indiana Fever players or Caitlin Clark. Even though Caitlin Clark has this big spotlight and packing the stands in the stadiums like a can of sardines. The pressure this second half of the WNBA season for Indiana Fever is going to be on Christy Sides and Lynn Dunn. Reason why is because if Indiana Fever don't make a good playoff run or don't even make the playoffs, then all the pressure is going to be on the front office of the Indiana Fever on what they're going to do about getting a coach in there. That's what it's going to be about. I understand she just became a coach, last year? So you sometimes want to give it time. But having a player with the caliber of Caitlin Clark, how much time do you really want to burn on a coach trying to get it together? That appears, it seems like, you know, it may be a lot to handle. But hey, wish Christy Sides and the Indiana Fever the best this second half of the WNBA season, and hope this time off has given them the chance to kind of bring this all together like a huddle. But y'all get in the comments there what y'all think. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share my video, and also hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I drop another video. And also follow my social media, @GertieMac15. Holla.